Welcome to Milestone Moments, the show where we explore the journeys that lead to success. I'm Sheila Slick, your host and founder of 5 Milestones. In every episode, we will bring you insights from the minds of entrepreneurs, leaders, and experts who will share not just their expertise, but the milestone moments that have reshaped their journeys and led to significant achievements. So if you're looking for motivation, you're in the right place. Subscribe now and discover the milestones that mark the path to success. Welcome back to another episode of Milestone Moments in Business and Leadership. I'm your host, Sheila Slick, and today I am so excited to welcome Leslie Capps, founder of Wild Woman Marketing. Leslie is a strategic storypreneur. She is the author of Turn Your Story into Business Gold and the creator of Author in 30. She specializes in helping entrepreneurs monetize their stories through magnetic storytelling and custom AI solutions. And guess what? She's also my co-author on Turn Your Spoken Words into a publish-ready book in 30 days. Welcome to the show, Leslie.
Woohoo! Thank you so much. Excited to be here. Yeah, I love talking marketing and books and AI.
I know. So what led you to start Wild Woman Marketing?
It was when I started online as a life coach, and it was trying to figure out my own marketing. And once I did, I was like, oh, marketing is fun. It's creative. It's exciting. There's so many different aspects to it. And as I went on my journey, it always made me curious why theoretically, every marketing solution we try should work for us, right? If we know the basics. And why didn't we know the basics? And that sort of led me to this storytelling angle was if we could get clear on that and how our story tied into our business, then we knew who we served, how we served them, what we did to serve them. All those questions that when you say, who's your ideal avatar? When we jargon it up, everybody freezes up and goes, I don't know. So how could we simplify was really the goal I was getting to. And the other thing is story is so unique to each person, right? You could line 10 of us up. We could have taken the same program, do the same work with people, and it's going to come out different based on who we are and what our story is.
Now we met and some words like AI brought us together because you're leveraging AI and you use books as part of your marketing strategy. That's what you help people do, not just tell their stories, but use their voice.
Right. And that's why I was so freaking excited to meet you because I had written a book in 30 days. I got an opportunity to take one to an event, actually to the Oscars gifting lounge. And not that it was going to be a moneymaker or anything, but I thought, what a cool experience. I might not ever get this opportunity. So heck yeah, I'll jump in. And, I had to talk to the organizer and she said, I love your book idea. So I was like, oh, crikey, I got 30 days to write it. And I know you can't see me, everybody, but I talk with my hands all the time. That is how I communicate. And I was like, there is no way I can talk and type and think at the same time. So I sort of duct taped an AI solution together to record my voice, right? And get that foundation down. So obviously, when I met you and you described your system, I'm like, holy shnikey. Sheila just took it to the master in the stars level. And this is mind blowing. And trust me, I wrote a book the old fashioned way years ago. It was freaking painful because my brain processes so fast. And I think that's true of a lot of creative entrepreneurs, right? That there's no way my fingers could keep up. And so I'd have ideas and I would lose them because I'm trying to type, and it was a little bit ugly. And it turned out wasn't what I wanted, wasn't what I hoped. but it was a grind, right? At the end, I was like, oh, just thank you, God, I'm done. I love book writing, but there's got to be a better way.
Well, great minds think alike. Is it? I love using my voice, and here I am talking through a microphone. We could sit here and just have a conversation and turn this into a chapter of a book. And so that gave me the freedom to feel that I could take it from beginning to end. And ironically, my first book that I did before I met you, I solo recorded myself. And I took my blog posts, I took my research papers I had done in my master's, which were part of my passion. I said, I'm going to pick the 10 practices that I've used, whether it was in creating the app or in writing this book, to take me from beginning to end. And I wasn't able to do that the traditional way. And it gave me the flexibility to just talk to the microphone. And my recording took place in the back seat of our car as we took a 5.5 hour road trip. I put the children in the front and told my husband, if I'm speaking too loud, let me know. I put on these headphones with the little microphone and I would read and then I would just talk. And then I met you and you said the best way that I can get my thoughts is walking around and talking. So I sent you on a walk.
Right? I was like, yeah, I know when I did my first book, probably because it was in the summer, right? Probably people thought it was crazy because I paced around the garage. Because yeah, I like to move and talk. And a funny story about that is I used Otter, right? Talked into Otter. And I was out on the prairie one day walking the dog and I was talking. I looked down, it was in Spanish. I was like, okay, what is going on here? So I quit that. I came home, got on the computer, and I got into Otter. I said, okay, why did it turn up in Spanish? Oh, we don't support Spanish. I was like, well, that's good because I don't read Spanish, but it ended up in Spanish, right? But you would not have that issue with Sheila's software. So, and I think the beauty of it really is that it gets that foundation and that's what takes us a lot of time, right? To get that foundation. Once you have that, then it does unlock something super creative in the sense, oh, well, now I'm not exhausted from getting a foundation. I'm still juiced up about it. And now it can be super creative. I can add examples. I can get all kinds of crazy on the information I want to put in it. Where I think the old fashioned way, you're like, just get it down. Just get it down. I got to get through this. And like, if that's your jam, all the more power to you. I know someone who's writing 1,000 words a day, and she said, I'm on day 20. I was like, stab my eye out with a fork. That would not be for me. And I don't know about anybody else, right? But the other thing is I don't want to spend months, years, whatever, writing a book. Like I got lots of ideas. So let's get her done.
Well, let's go. Let's start the next book.
I know, we're ready. We're ready. Yeah.
So you have Author in 30.
Mhm.
Author in 30 is a program that you're offering so that anyone that wants to write their book and get it published ready, perhaps even published within 30 days.
Right.
Because
Right.
if you're very organized and you want to just speak into the microphone for, in a day or in a weekend, you've got that foundation, that audio that's necessary so that PodtoBook.ai can transform it into a manuscript in 2.5 hours. But I get to that point, some people that I've met don't have the audios ready, or perhaps they have many, many years of Zoom recordings and they don't know how to structure the book. So tell us what you're offering in Author in 30.
Absolutely. So yeah, however you want to work with me and or us to get a book published in 30 days, right? I think because I was thinking how long it took us to write the book. I think was it 3 days or 4 days once we started. So it's not a long process. And I think you're right. Sometimes we are intimidated by how do I even start? And the way I tell people to do that and help them do that is like that. What's that umbrella idea you're trying to get across? So if you had, because Sheila had someone who did this, who had a lot of years of sessions. So what is a theme, right, that we're going to pull out from all those sessions? And either that becomes a chapter or the whole focus of a book. So we just wrote a book, how to do a book, right, in 30 days. What is that? Once we have that umbrella, what are the things that need to go in there for your process, your system, whatever you're using that book for? So the other important thing I think you need to decide first off is, what's your goal for the book? Because the strategies, not so much the book itself, but the strategies as you set it up and write it, and then certainly afterwards and pre-marketing will make a difference depending on your goal. But if your goal is to teach people, let's say, how to write a book in 30 days, well, we want to have some way within that book for them to get hold of us, right? If they have questions or answers. So then we build in lead magnets. Okay, well, that leads us down a whole nother rabbit trail. But having that goal, one, and then two, that kind of, I call it the umbrella story, right? That everything else fits in that. And you go along the turn your story into business goal. There's one chapter I super loved. I was super committed to that. I was like, got all juiced up. At the end of the day, it didn't really fit in my structure that I ended up with. So I kicked it to the curb. But if you don't have that structure, then you get stuck in that. Okay, how do I edit this thing? Because it's just a bunch of ideas that don't seem to fit together. And your reader will know that too, right? So thinking about it like a reader, I need a map when I read something, just like in a movie. I need a map of kind of where we're going. I'm glad to go along with you, but if you don't explain stuff, nope, I'm out. And then obviously, we're also collaborating on, if you need editing help, if you need cover help. Really, our mission, and I think why we are aligned and why it's a great synergy, is we're super passionate about helping entrepreneurs get their words out into the world. It is a game changer in so many ways. Even Sheila and I were talking. I was like, I got my book a couple days ago, and yeah, I got chills even when I said that, right? There is something so powerful, so fun, exciting, adventurous about holding a book that you created in your hands. And it is an amazing marketing tool. It will open doors if you want to speak, if you want to run workshops, build businesses off the book, even do lead magnets related to the book, right? It just has so many uses, lots of hope and possibility and excitement with the book. I know you were excited when you got your copy.
Oh, I'm still so excited. I'm wondering, are we going to let the audience know? Is it available yet for Amazon? Because we ordered our author copies, which is in the publishing process. When you get the manuscript, you need that edit. And we went back and forth. The
Yeah.
book picks up the tone of Leslie's tone, which I absolutely loved. It's very punchy. And you took me through an emotional ride, prepping me, and I felt I'm ready to write a book. And then I was like, wait, Sheila, you've already written a book. And I thought, oh, I can write more. And so I absolutely loved how I felt emotion. So you did a great job showing me that map.
Well, thank you.
That's for style. It's a book on how to write a book.
Yeah.
I absolutely learned along the way as well. And this was such a fun project. So I've had so much fun in this process. I'm ready to do the next one, Leslie.
Oh, me too.
Are we ready to push that button and publish it live?
Why not? I say we should. Like, turn her loose into the wild.
All right, it's official. So our book, Leslie and I's book, Turn Your Spoken Words into a Publish Ready Book in 30 Days, is available in Kindle and in paperback. I love it. I love the book, Leslie. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you, because it was a joyful process. And yeah, and I think if people worry that you're gonna miss the emotional arc of the pain of writing, not at all. not at all. I think the Pod to Book software really creates something joyful where you go, oh my gosh, this was fun. Let's do it again. Let's unleash our creativity and write all kinds of books. Yeah.
From my understanding and my learning with the algorithms, it's almost better to do a trilogy than it is to do a standalone book. So let's start thinking about our trilogies.
Right? You're absolutely right, is that you do need multiple books, right? And I think that's why the traditional way has always been so difficult because it is a grind, right? And you get done with one, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to write a second one? Like I have all these ideas, but yeah, definitely. I'm all in. I'm ready. And I have other ideas too. So I just think there's something really special about writing a book.
Yes, it becomes addicting. So, fair warning in this episode, we are letting you know that one book just isn't enough. Once you get a book in your hand, that feeling is so magical, so special. It's pride, it's joy, and it's also a way to leave your legacy. Something that I love because it's in your own terms. This is my thought, or these are my steps, my process. So you're sharing it in different ways. And I also think it helps to maximize the exposure because not everyone listens to podcasts. So this in a written form perhaps isn't just recycling content or turning it into the written format, but it's reaching audiences, the same message in different formats. So you're amplifying that message.
Oh, without a doubt, right? Probably reaching people who you might not otherwise reach. Somebody reads a book, they love it, they pass it on to someone else who passes it on to someone else. And now you have this ripple effect that you would never have reached those people with. So it is lovely. And I think the other thing I really appreciate about the talk to text is the first book I wrote had beta readers. And one of them reached out to me and she said, do you realize that you say, here's the thing? And I said, here's the thing. I didn't realize I say, here's the thing. But now that I know it, I lean into it, right? Here's the thing. So I think that's something we don't get when we type. I would have edited that out, right? Because I was trying to get down words and not pick up the way I talk, which is I think that's why books turn out so special because you hear the author's voice in your head.
I love it. So I will leave the link in the comments so that you can purchase your copy of Turn Your Spoken Words into a published ready book in 30 days and how someone can join the Author in 30 program.
Absolutely. So you can go to authorin30.com and absolutely schedule a call. If you just want to find out about it, you can purchase the software there. You can purchase, well, we're going to do a workshop, 4-week workshop. And for week 4, we're publishing on Amazon. There we go. That's how confident we are. Otherwise, you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, reach out. Love to have a conversation about writing a book.
And if it's something that you've had in your mind, in your heart, in your desktop, or on your desk, now is the time to take action.
Absolutely. Do it. Just do it. That's our advice.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Leslie.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Milestone Moments in Business and Leadership. Until next time.